Okay, welcome back to members of 121 Community Church in Grapevine, Texas, and our ongoing study in First Sons and Last Daughters by Reine. We're going to look at 238 to 253. Let's go to block 1 and take a look at repair is a human responsibility and an impossibility. Repair. Peyton confesses to Bryce, "Your father is desperate to repair us, but he cannot." Peyton identifies the problem correctly as a relentless state of fallen being. I agree. Very accurate analysis by Peyton. A relentless state of being that needs repair. Again, Peyton protests to Adler. Gideon invited Ashton. He caused this whole chaos. And Adler is very defensive anyway and refuses to listen. Instead, he takes up a very rigid stance of unforgiveness. From here on, Bryce travels with her mother to college. Desire for repair and relentless fallen being results in a separation of silence. Adler, Peyton, and Bryce check in to the Ritz in San Francisco. Peyton's at the point of no longer feeling guilty about reestablishing a relationship with Ashton. But Adler does join Peyton and Bryce for dinner, and he does apologize for his previous behavior. But repair is still very much outside the realm of possibility. It's going to require transcendence. It will require transcendence. Let's go on to block 2. Repair, desire for repair, and attempt at mending spirits. This will begin at Carmel. But here you go. Adler immediately abandons the possibility that he promised to take part in. Instead, he's going to go into the wilderness as a loner again in northern New Mexico. And he said, I need the baptism of my youth. Well, he's abandoning his responsibility. He's abandoning his promise. Baptism, then temptation in the wilderness. Peyton commits to remaining in Carmel. She confesses that their lives have changed. Now Peyton will frame a new life in a new canvas of painting. She always retreats to her painting. A newly framed life. Peyton will paint a new life narrative, and she's going to coordinate that with the project she's promised to do for Mrs. Valesco. Peyton confesses to Adler that she now prefers separation. Out of baptism comes being called out in a separated new life. And it will first pass through Golgotha. Okay, very important here. Hanovi is talking to Peyton on the phone, and he said he has a vision of ominous impending darkness. A darkness of Golgotha. An ominous darkness. Remember, last time he had a vision like that, Scarborough died. So I think this is a vision of an impending death. But all we're told right now is that it's an impending, ominous darkness. Let's go on to block 3. Okay, let's move on to block 3. A called out life of spiritual energia. Peyton settles into Carmel, and she settles into the work of the Spirit in a place of harmony and a place of energy. Of spiritual harmony, which is symphonesis, meaning to call out with harmony, where we get our word symphony, a place of many prayers, where repair of spirit is a possibility. Symphonesis, the inner spiritual symphony, is what Peyton is seeking. Peyton loved living in the art colony by the sea. A special delivery arrives from Ashton, of course. And how cool is this? It's a black and white framed photograph with an antique frame of Peyton on Ashton's sailboat, taken with that Hasselblad. So, I mean, very cool. Very, very cool. Ashton has definitely become a very caring, genuine person. Peyton sits, meditates, and loses herself in the photo. She's ready for a change. Although she is alone, she tells herself she's not really feeling lonely. And that's a good thing. Being alone doesn't have to mean being lonely. And she doesn't feel lonely. She feels like she's in the midst of a work of the Spirit. And I agree, that's what she's doing. She's in the midst of a work of the Spirit. She's going to coordinate that with the task for the painting she's going to do. So she's in the midst of a life of energia and harmony, seeking a repair of spirit, which is a possibility in this art colony by the sea. And she's already been commissioned to do that painting for Mrs. Valesco, so the painting of her new framed life will be coordinated with the project for Mrs. Valesco. The two will intersect, and her next painting will be a painting that will represent new called out identity of life. New called out identity of life. So very well done. I like what's going on here. I think for me in block 2, I mean, you've got a transition in the life of Peyton, but you've also got a vision by Hanovi of an ominous approaching darkness, and it's almost a vision of a approaching supernatural darkness. I mean, it's a spiritual vision by Hanovi, and his visions generally prove to be verified. His vision about Scarborough was accurate. So in block 2, to me, I'm kind of thinking that soon in this novel, we're going to be confronted by this darkness. It's going to be fulfilled. This vision is going to be fulfilled. So ahead we have an approaching ominous darkness, but we have Peyton ready to do the work of the Spirit, and I like that. She's going to participate in Spirit, and she's going to do the work of the Spirit and try to reach a harmony of the soul, or I should say a symphony of the soul, because she is in a art colony where repair of the Spirit is a possibility. It is a possibility where she is at. So Adler has abandoned Peyton. He's promised to stay with her in Carmel, and he immediately abandons that promise, betrays his word. He's going to go into the wilderness in northern New Mexico and leave Peyton alone. And Peyton says, you know what? I'll embrace separation. As far as I'm concerned, I will embrace separation. So at this point in the novel, Adler and Peyton are separated. Not divorced, but they are separated. And Adler's seeking a baptism of his youth in the wilderness. And Peyton's seeking a baptism through her art. They're both seeking a baptism of renewal. For Adler, that is time in the wilderness. For Peyton, that is artwork, painting, which is always a reflection of the self for Peyton. Always. It's always a reflection of her own identity, all the time. Her art is very, very meaningful for her own defined life. But what a cool gift from, I gotta tell you, I'm learning to appreciate Ashton more in this volume 2. What a cool gift. Black and white photo from the Hasselblad. Antique, kind of a distressed frame. I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. I've got a framed photograph of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Isaiah scroll, in my library here, and I had them frame it in a distressed wood frame. It looks so cool with that distressed frame with the Dead Sea Scrolls, so it's really cool, but I had it framed up with a distressed wooden frame. It looks really good. I like what Ashton did here. What a cool gift. The photo is black and white, and it's from the Hasselblad medium format. It's very, very cool. So I'm learning to appreciate Ashton all the more. He has matured. And Peyton, really, she just wants really to organize her life and do the work of Spirit. Good for her. She wants to do the work of Spirit. And so we're going to leave this lesson here. Fairly short, but that's 238 to 253. We've got Adler seeking a baptism of youth in the wilderness. You've got Peyton seeking a baptism of the work of the Spirit through her painting. So they're both seeking a renewed baptism of a new life. And we have Peyton now, not at the ranch, but in Carmel. She is in Carmel, not too far away from her daughter in college. And Ashton knows she is in Carmel. And he sent her the gift of the Hasselblad photo in black and white. I like that, in black and white. In other words, as fine art, photography. That's going to wrap up 238 to 253.